Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the 9th Annual Rocky Mountain Old Time Music Association Festival. The weather is beautiful. The music is beautiful. Who could ask for anything more right now? I hope that you all had a chance to stretch, eat some food, find a good seat. We're glad you're all back and ready to enjoy some good music because we have a couple of good concerts for you tonight before the dance. We were just getting warmed up last night with one concert. I think that covers pretty much everything for now. So let me tell you a little bit about our first concert. They're making their first performance appearance here at CROMA. What I liked was the story that I just heard that just shows how we have a small community. If you all remember Dot, who came up and did some dancing with Betsy and Clark last night, well, apparently she played a big role in this next performance duo's life. They were set up in not a blind date, but a blind gig, which I'm really intrigued by. I would love to hear more about that. They were set up by Dot Kemp, and 3 months later they were married. They perform wonderful music together, and we're really lucky that we get to hear it tonight. So please make them feel very welcome tonight. We are ready for you. Patt and Possum, take it away.
Thanks. Thanks very much for the great introduction. But we play Midwestern style fiddle music, and we'll just start in with a tune called 9 Mile that I got from a guy named John White, who in Hallsville, Missouri, a little 300-person burg north of Columbia in central Missouri. And it's just an old square dance tune. Here we go. John was a great square dance fiddler. He was so good that sometimes he would actually have to be poked and woken up at the end of the dance. He would get in a trance or playing
He could
tunes.
play in his sleep.
I think he could play in his sleep. But so John was the first guy I heard play fiddle actually live, you know, other than somebody sawing on a fiddle on Hee Haw. And I said, boy, I'd like to learn to do that. But he found me to be sort of an annoying young man. Annoying, not knowing.
Most people did.
And so he sent me to a guy named Taylor McBain down in Columbia who taught a lot of people to play. And by teach, I mean the way you learned to play fiddle was just go and hang out, loaf, and listen to a lot of stories and hear a tune now and then, and try to pick up what you could. But so the tune I learned to play was Climb Upstairs the Monkey, which is sort of a variant on Seneca's square dance. Also, there's a song to it, but we'll play a little bit of that in G. First little old tune. I'll try to do this one tomorrow in my workshop too when I play the Little Dixie tunes, because that's where I grew up, was Little Dixie. Here we go. we'll climb upstairs to monkey. So I like to play some of the old standards too, so we're going to play a little Ragtime Annie. And then we'll play the 3-part version. If you don't know, there's a 3-part version. There's the 2 D parts, and then some Canadians got this great idea to play a part in G, and that kind of has swept the world, I would say. And while I'm playing this tune, I'm going to throw in a few bow tricks. I like to play tricky bowing. A friend of ours named Bob Holt, who used to be a great fiddler down in the Ozarks, he called this trash fiddling when you do these kind of things. So I'll try to throw in a little trash.
That's accepted in Canada. They like it.
They love trash fiddling up there, yeah.
You're the master, too.
Thank you. So we'll try a little Ragtime Annie. Play the old standards, you know. That's the reason they're the old standards. They're good tunes. But now we'll play a waltz. We'll play a waltz. In Missouri, we like waltzes. We play a lot of them. They go good in the fiddle contests, and people like to dance the waltz. We're going to play one called the Stars and Stripes Waltz. And if you had been living in central Missouri and around 1920, when radio first came into being, there was a radio station that the state sponsored that was broadcast from the Capitol building in Jefferson City, and it was originally designed to just tell farmers when to bring their crops to market, whether it's the best price for your crops. But soon they said, hey, we got some spare time here, let's put some entertainment on. So they started having fiddle contests on the air and having fiddlers play. And this was a waltz that was often heard over WOS called the Stars and Stripes. Let's see if we can do it. Thanks very much. I like a fiddle crowd. You know, people can sit in for a grueling 45 minutes of nothing but fiddle music. They're really proud of you. I'm going to bring up someone who was, you know the song, There Is No Greater Love? I think that applies to us. This is the greatest bromance of all time.
Indeed.
This is my friend Geoff Seitz from St. Louis. Give him a big hand.
Okay, that's enough.
We're going to play a few tunes. We both had a common mentor, and we both have the same sickness of liking Missouri fiddle music in particular. But there was a fellow named R.P. Christensen who wrote a couple of books of Missouri fiddling. He's passed on now, but we both got hooked up with him, and he thought it was pretty cool that two young guys would rather be learning to play the fiddle than out bird dogging chicks in a 55 Oldsmobile. So we learned a lot of tunes from this guy, and we're going to play some of his tunes. What's the first one we're going to try?
Zach Wheat's piece?
Zach Wheat's piece, yeah.
So I have a, are we on here? Okay.
Yeah, I think you're on.
I have a reproduction of a baseball card of Zach Wheat. Zach Wheat was actually a baseball player. He was from Hamilton, Missouri, but he made it all the way to the major leagues and played for the Brooklyn Nationals, right?
Yep.
And so this piece is called Zach Wheat's piece. Maybe he played fiddle. Who knows? Some of those baseball players actually did play music, by the way. They used to play music on the side. I don't know if Zach Wheat did or not, or if he was just a hometown hero and anything that happened they named after him.
They named a tune after him, didn't they?
Yeah, they could have. So, but he may have played, who knows? Because the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals actually had a guy named Fiddlin' Bill McGee in the 30s that played fiddle, yeah, and they used to play before the games and stuff. So, yeah, they played popular music. They didn't play the old-time fiddle music. But
This is semi-popular.
yeah, exactly.
They probably paid better than playing baseball back then.
Well, that's why they did it, because in the old days, baseball players did not make a lot of money, so they would do extra stuff on the side. That's very good.
All right,
Here we go.
let her go.
Thank you.
There's always some kind of inside joke going on too, so pay no attention.
Yeah.
We'll tell you about them later.
No, don't ask.
How about that Geoff City?
Okay. Play a little tune called Geoff City, which it got the name. Charlie was just talking about the radio station that was broadcast off of the Missouri State Capitol in the old days. That was like the way to get information out to people in the rural areas. Other than that, they were pretty much isolated, to be honest with you.
Other than like Twitter updates and stuff like that.
Twitter, yeah, that was their Twitter update. That was the old-time Twitter update, was the radio station. They broadcast WOS, which stood for Watch Our State, and from the Capitol, from the Missouri Capitol in Jefferson City. And they used to have fiddle for entertainment. They decided that entertainment was a good thing to do. And they used this tune as a theme song for their fiddle show. So so we call it Jeff City. It actually, I don't think it was ever called Jeff City from the guy where they got it from, which was Bill Caton, which is a black fiddle player from Callaway County, Missouri, right? Yep. And so it could be called Bill Caton's tune, or
sometimes we call it Caton's hornpipe or something like that.
Caton's hornpipe, yeah. He apparently was a very, very good fiddle player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gun it.
Ready? You know, folks, there's a little, at the turn of the century, from the 1800s to the 1900s, the most popular instrument was the piano. And then everybody wanted a fiddle and all that stuff, but Pat plays in the style of the old piano fiddle style, just as good as you can ever want it. Right? Yeah. And this sound is very old-timey, because the piano was a very important instrument back in the day. Every house had a piano in it at the turn of the century. Yeah, yeah. And Missouri was a big music place, you know. That's where ragtime started. That's right. And so there were a lot of good piano players around who played this kind of swingy style of piano. You know? Yeah, so piano is very important in the Midwest. The only thing I wish is I'd said all those nice things about Pat. I just didn't think of it fast enough. Well, let's play one more, Jeff. How about Granny with Your Dog Bite? Yeah. This is #1 in the book. What's the book? The Old Time Fiddlers Repertory Volume 1. Tune number 1. Kick it.
Give it up. Thanks, man. Good night, everybody. Oh, no, we have to stay and play. We have to stay and play.
That's good.
Okay, so well, let's see. Let's play. I want to play at least one of these Midwestern quadrilles. A quadrille in Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska is a tune in 6/8 time, like a jig, you know. But these aren't Irish jigs or Scottish jigs. They're American 6/8 tunes, and I'm sort of on a bit of a crusade to keep these tunes alive. If you'd like to call our 800 number, we're toting up the donations on the big board tonight, and we're doing quite well. But please call the hotline to make a donation to keep these poor tunes alive. But we're gonna play. I'll try to sandwich a couple together in a little medley. The first one, I mentioned the Old Time Fiddlers repertory, which we call the OTFR. Well, this is number 189 in the OTFR. It's one of those tunes that Bob Christensen collected up in Nebraska. And then we'll play another one, and that one's in A, and then we'll play another one in B flat called the Art Luton's Quadrille. Play them through a couple times each. All right. Here, let's see what happens. So come to my workshop tomorrow. I'm going to teach one of those little ditties at the end. How much time do we got left? We got a little bit of time. Still 15 minutes. Okay, that's okay. We have another hour's worth of material for the good folks.
Or my watch is stopped.
But let's play another one of these. Another one of those mid-Missouri tunes. This is an odd little tune. I don't play many cricket tunes where the time doesn't come out right, but this is one we really like called "Going Across the Prairie," and it's the only guy I ever heard play it was a guy named Cleo Persinger, who was one of the few people from the Midwest ever to win the big contest at Weezer before everybody had to sound like Mark O'Connor back in the '60s. That other styles of fiddling could place, and so he won the contest in 1963. And we'll play a little "Going Across the Prairie."
4 potatoes, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the intro so you know where to come in here. think next we'll try to play another waltz. You know, I just want to say while I've still got time here, though, is that how much we have enjoyed this festival so far. Wow, it's great. And thanks to Bob for inviting us, and Chip and all the other folks associated with the festival. We've had a great time so far. The only complaint I've had is that the toilet paper rolls in the porta potties are wound the wrong way, so I have to pull it out. Other than that, everything's been great. You know, you got to find something, you know, like what needs improvement at the bottom of the form. If you all would just join me in putting that on the questionnaire when you leave. And I do like the merchandise. Be sure to take advantage of that. Some people have asked me why I left this tag on my hat, and I realized that at the end of the festival, you can return these, if the tag's on, for a 15% restocking fee. They'll give you a refund. So take advantage of that if you can. All right, we're going to play a waltz. Anybody heard of a Western swing band leader named Spade Cooley? Has anybody ever heard of him? Yeah. So we're out west, surely people have heard of Spade. This is a tune called Blue Jeans and Gingham Waltz, and the title invokes men in their blue jeans and women in their gingham dresses at a Western style dance, you know, and waltzing to this dance. On his recording, I don't know if you're listening to him, you should check him out. He had basically an orchestra, and there's a harp, there's all this other high instrumentation playing this cute little waltz, but we heard it up in Canada. There's a fiddler named Andy DeJarlis who, I don't know how, he probably heard it from Spade Cooley recording years ago, and he recorded it, so we'll kind of play that version of Blue Jeans and Gingham. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1. Thanks very much. Wish I'd written that. Okay, I think we got time for the big medley of tunes. The big medley.
Don't forget about the big finish.
Oh, the big finish. We don't have time for the big medley then. Let me just play one more and go right to the big finish. That's right.
Play Virginia Darling.
Yeah, we're going to play a tune now called Virginia Darling, which comes from Pete McMahon, another great fiddler from Little Dixie there in mid-Missouri. And it's really, though, first time I heard it, I said, wow, that sounds kind of bluegrassy, you know, because the guys there sometimes didn't like bluegrass very much, but this one sounded kind of bluegrassy. And then later on I realized it's a Bill Monroe tune. So we'll play that make it sound bluegrassy, I think. So it's called Virginia Darling. Here we go. Well, we're going to finish up with something that I hadn't played it in a while, and when we were down, Alvy Dooms was here last year, I think, wasn't he? A guitar player yeah. What a character Alvy is, great guy. And we were down playing at the West Plains Ozark Heritage Festival the first part of June, and he reminded me of a tune I haven't been playing much lately called Listen to the Mockingbird. And so I'm going to try to do a little bit of that. Now this is a tune that a lot of fiddlers play, and used to play a lot, but it got outlawed in fiddle contests. You can't do it
all
anymore.
50 states, you can't play
It's a trick tune, you know. They didn't want you to play a trick tune. But actually it's an old song that came out on a sheet music in the late 1800s. And the guy's name who published the tune, who wrote the tune, had a very interesting name, Septimus Winter. You know, there's been no one named Septimus since the Roman times, I think, but somebody decided that'd be a good name for their son, Septimus. So, by the way, I always wanted to know why in Roman times was no one ever named Minimus? Always Maximus something. I don't know. No one ever named their kids Minimus. Who knows?
Go figure.
So let's try a little bit of Listen to the Mockingbird. We've gone from the sublime now to the ridiculous. hard part. A lot of nice birds out there in the Midwest. We got the old Bob White quail. He sounds like this. If you've ever been camping there in Missouri about midnight, this bird will start the old whippoorwill to keep you up all night. The little wren sounds like this. Pat, this one's for you. Play one more? Okay. Sure.
He said, "What's wrong? Did we go too short?" I said, "No, they want to hear one more song. Don't you want to hear one more?" It's been so wonderful hearing you share all of these songs and all this history. So please, share one more before you go.
But that was the good one.
No pressure.
What do you want to hear, dear?
Like Pike's Peak.
Sure, all right, we'll play a little Pike's Peak. All right, that's a good one. Let's play a little bit of that. Pike's Peak to East Tennessee Blues. How about that?
Are they in the same key?
Yeah, they're in the same key.
They start on the C?
Start on C. Here we go. You're good to go. That's all she needs to know, folks. What chord to start on. There you go.
Thank you.